Nizami, Kamo Talebu. I hope you all are doing quite well. Well, friends, I have brought a new topic today for you, that is the subjunctive, which is quite in demand from my 10th students, board students. Also, those who wants to learn speaking, for them also this is a very useful topic. Before I start my today's class, I would request you kindly press the subscribe and like button. Also, please leave your views and your comments in the comment box. I would appreciate that. Well, so I start today's class, friends. Take out your notebooks and pen. Pronne votre cahier, votre stylo. On commence. Well, friends, subjunctive or the subjunctive mode. So you have learned about indicative mode, imperative mode, all the tenses which you have learned, present, past, future, that all perfect tenses, that all falls under the indicative mode or indicatif en français. Imperative mode, where you give command, suggestions, orders, etc. The subjunctive mode, it is commonly used in French, and it has its own form of the verbs, range of the present and past tenses, although the present tense of the subjunctive is the most used of all. So basically I will be focusing on present form of the subjunctive or le subjunctive. Well, friends, subjunctive is mainly used to express these below mentioned emotions, feelings, or you can say expressions. Necessity, possibility, doubts, regrets, wishes, fear. If you want to express all these things, then we use subjunctive. The subjunctive is usually preceded by a verb which will be conjugated in subjunctive mode only, that later on I am going to explain you, plus ka. Alright, so this is the formation of when you will start making the subjunctive. So verb plus ka. However, there are many verbs which with ka, which are not followed by subjunctive. Those with ka also we make in indicative. But there is a difference between indicative using the ka and subjunctive using the ka, which I am going to explain you. Alright, so don't worry right now. Just write it down this much. Note, if the principal class expresses fear, last one, always use n before the subjunctive class. Usually principal class is your main, you start, and after the subordinate class we use subjunctive. So I will give you examples. First I will tell you how to make the verb in subjunctive mode, and then I will tell you the sentences or phrase. Okay, so don't worry, just write it down right now here. I am going to explain you soon. Well, if the principal class expresses fear, always use n before the subjunctive class, which I mentioned earlier. Again I am mentioning it. So this is very important. So please focus on that. The verb pouvoir in all the subjunctive tenses is used when we mean can or could. If we mean may or might, then verb pouvoir is not used in subjunctive. These are very important points. Kindly note them down. Well, formation or rule, how we form the subjunctive verb. So ending pattern is similar for all verbs in the present subjunctive tense except avoir and être. Except avoir and être. These two please remember. Rest all the present subjunctive will have the same ending. Verb endings of the present subjunctive, which we use e, the termination, nous, ions, but for être and avoir, this I becomes y, y. Alright, ion. Tu, es, second plural, iez, but for avoir and être verb, it will be yez. Alright. Then third person singular yeah, e, and third person plural ent. So these three singulars and the third person plural, more or less it seems like you are doing the indicative er regulars. Alright, but no, it has the when you use the irregular verb, then it changes. You will find the difference, and yes, the meaning is quite different than the indicative one. Have you noted it down? Yes, I am sure that you have done it. So, how to form formation or the rule to make the subjunctive verb form. So, root what it will be? We take the present indicative of the third person of the verb. So, if you have watched my videos on YouTube, that is Sadhana's French class, I have covered almost all the topic for the basic French, where you can learn all these things. So, if you haven't done so far, kindly go to the YouTube, open Sadhana's French class and watch it. So, present indicative verb of the third person. So, suppose I take some verb which is, we say, parler. I will write it down here for you. Parler. So, its third person plural is parle. Alright. So, we will be taking this of this indicative infinitive parler of indicative present. Alright. So, the present indicative of third person, that will be this one. Take off ent. What we do? We take out the ent. So, what is the root now? Parle. Alright. Now, before this I told you the termination. So, suppose if I say je parle, and with je I will be adding a and ka, which I told you in subjunctive is verb plus ka. Alright. So, the present indicative of third person of verb, take off ent and add above mentioned terminations to the root of the verb for first, second and third person singular. The first person plural and second person plural are like imperfect tense. If you remember imperfect tense, I am going to tell you again, I will remind what is the imperfect tense. Well, imperfect tenses, past, one of the past tenses. After passé composé, we teach imperfect tense. So, where you are describing some past event, where some action happens but it continues, it does not terminate, means it is incomplete, that's why we call it imperfect. So, imperfect tense, nous and vous will be the same what we make in imperfect tense. Example, I am going to tell you. We will write it down. Suppose we had taken imperfect parler, it would have been parlions. For nous and for vous, parliez. This is same in imperfect tense. Alright, so this is your termination which we have in imperfect tense for the first person plural and second person plural. Alright, so these are the changes, and which that's why sometimes for the new learner it becomes little difficult. So the only thing you should remember the rule. What is the rule? Again I repeat, the present indicative of third person of verb take off ent. So go procedurally one after another what the rule demands, okay? And add above mentioned termination to the root of the verb for first person, second person, third person singular. The first person plural and second person plural are like imperfect tense of indicative, just now I told you. Okay, any verb, the same it will remain for the singulars and first person and second person plural. The third person, see the all persons, there is a difference. That's why subjunctive is little difficult initially. But once you understand and you follow the rule, there is no difficulty at all. So third person plural is like indicative third person, means termination, if you remember, that was ent. For parle verb, it will be parlent. This will be third person plural. Okay, so if you remember your rule, your terminations, you are going to make it perfectly all right. If you remember your rule and you go step by step, you are not going to make any mistake in this. Yes, it will be little slower, go slow, but follow the rule. All right. So friends, here I have taken one verb for you, that is re, prendre, to take. Root, third person plural is prun. What it is? Prun. It is irregular. Take off ent, we will take off ent. Okay, I will show you how we take out, like third person plural of prendre verb was prun. ent. So what we take off? ent. We just cross it. All right. I will write it again so that well, I just made some mess up. Prun. Yeah, this is all right. We take out. So what is now the root? That is prun. So if we do the conjugation of this, so for let me erase it and I will just make for conjugation as it is written for you though, but we can do it here, like you know the termination. So if you say ch prun, your root is this now. Understand? See, it is changed, then indicative, and we add e. For tu we will be adding es. Similarly, for third person we will be adding e. And what we will be doing for first person plural and second person plural, we will be doing it as imperfect tense. All right, you can just see that kaj prun, ka nu prunio, ka tu prun, ka vu prunie, ka il el prun, ka il el prun. So see, this looks like third person plural of indicative, and nu and vu, they are like imperfect tense. The changes here we make, since it is irregular verb, so it is not at all like the indicative, it is quite different. Ja prun, ka tu prun, ka ilal prun, ka nu prunio, ka vu prunie, ka ilal prun. For impersonal verb, replace the ending of the infinitive verb by a, because impersonal verb, what are the impersonal verbs? They only conjugate with ill. They conjugate with ill only. So only one form you don't have to go for other subjects, only for the ill form you do it. So what you are going to add? Only e. So pleuvoir, to rain, qu'il pleut, that it rains. Okay, or that it's raining, something. When we make the full sentence, then you will understand. Right now you should understand que and verb form is conjugated in subjunctive mode like this, as I told you in the rule itself. I hope that you have understood and you are noting it down. Okay friends, mes amis, exception, irregular verbs. So they don't follow the rule. You are supposed to memorize them. So être and avoir verb, how they look in subjunctive mode, subjunctive form of the verbs in English. Être, que je sois. So verb and que, of course, que and verb. Okay, que tu sois, qu'elle soit, que nous soyons. As I told you earlier, that in être and avoir, it's not ions, it is yons. All right. Rest all is like imperfect tense, nous and vous. So ions or iez. But in subjunctive form, you are going to do yons and yez. So here it is soyez. Even for this rule, imperfect tense also, for irregular exceptions also, sometimes it goes. Avoir, very different than your other verbs in subjunctive mode. Que j'ai, que tu es, qu'il elle est, que nous ayons, que vous ayez, qu'il elles aient. Okay? Aller verb, que j'aille, que tu ailles, que il elle aille, que nous allions, que vous alliez, qu'il elle aille. Faire, que je fasse. So don't go for third person or that rule, it will not follow. For exceptions, you must remember the first one. If you remember fast, then you can make all of them. Terminations a, as, a, ions, iez and ent. Être and avoir is always highly irregular verbs or exceptions, so you must memorize them. All right. So que je fasse, que tu fasses, qu'il elle fasse, que nous fassions, que vous fassiez, que il elle fasse. All right. So hope that you are writing it down. Many times if you read it, repetition makes you perfect. Read it and use it in sentences. I will tell you how to use it. Okay. Well, some more exceptions. Pouvoir. Pouvoir means can or to be able to. Que je puisse, que tu puisses, que il elle puisse, que nous puissions, que vous puissiez, que il elle puisse. You can see it like this. Well, now you can see it. Okay. So savoir verb, to know. Que je sache, que tu saches, que il elle sache, que nous sachions, que vous sachiez. Vouloir, to want. Que je will, que tu will, que il elle will, que nous voulions, que vous vouliez, que il elle will. All right. So these are the exceptions which you must memorize. There are many more, but these are very important ones, what I am telling you right now. Okay. So, well friends, I told you the in which cases we use them. So here are some of them which you should as sentence. I have taken only one single verb so that you can understand it quite well, and I have given in English what does it mean. Kindly note it down carefully and read it many times as possible. All right. The subjunctive is automatically used after the mentioned expressions earlier or below, what I have given already in colored one, in yellow color. Necessity, nécessaire. So there is something which is necessary if you want to say. The one thing is, what I must clear you friends, is that subjunctive, there is always uncertainty. Some kind of doubt is always there. It's not, it is a subjective and it is the opinion and point of view of the person who's expressing these feelings. All right. So when we start subjunctive, you must remember it always. It is not always that it will happen like that. It might happen. Okay. The fear, doubts, possibilities, necessities, all these things we use mostly in subjunctive mode. So il faut ka, falloir verb with ka, yeah, there are other verbs also with ka. Okay. So il faut ka, this is your principal clause. It is necessary. Ka means that here. Il faut ka means it is necessary. Second subordinate clause, we will use subjunctive verb. This is your subordinate clause. This is your principal clause. Il faut que, it is necessary that. All right. Je rentre. Rentre verb I have taken. Rentre is, here I am writing it, the infinitive. Rentre, to return or come back. So il faut que, it is necessary. Je rentre à Paris. It is necessary that I should go back to Paris. Necessary, but it is not 100% sure that I return. This I return back, come back to Paris. So always there is a doubt. Okay. So this you should remember. Il faut que je rentre à Paris. It is necessary that I should go back to Paris. Possibility. Il est possible que. Okay. Il est possible, adverb, possible, there is possibility. Il est possible que. Que means that. Okay, this you should remember. It used as conjunction also, and it means that. And this makes your principal clause. After ka is a subordinate clause. There you are going to use subjunctive verb. Right? Je rentre à Paris la semaine prochaine. Il est possible. Possibility है, श्योरिटी नहीं है. जहाँ सर्टेनिटी हो गई या श्योरिटी हो गई, there we use indicative with ka, and we use in place of ka we use the and infinitive most of the time. All right. So when there is doubt and uncertainty of the opinion or view or the sentence, what the person is saying, yeah, expressing, we use subjunctive. Il est possible que je rentre à Paris la semaine prochaine. There is a possibility that I shall return to Paris next week. Semaine prochaine. Semaine means week, prochaine next. Okay. So possibility, but not sure 100% that this subject will go back to Paris next week. Maybe he goes before that, maybe he is held up back and he goes later. Possibility. Possibility means not certain. Okay. Doute, doubt, or douter. Douter verb. Douter. ER group. Okay. To doubt. Je doute que. Principal clause. Je doute que. This is your subordinate clause where we use subjunctive verb. This is your subjunctive verb. Je rentre à Paris avant dimanche. I doubt that I shall be going back to Paris before Sunday. I doubt that I go back to Paris before Sunday. Doubt hai, but possibly he goes back, or maybe he goes next Sunday, maybe later. So uncertainty. This you should remember. Okay. This is the sure thing. If there is certainty, you are not going to use subjunctive. Well, friends, some more expressions which are going to learn with subjunctive. All right. So here are regrets or regret, wishes, fear. Regrets, we use a regret verb, regretter. Je regrette qu'elle rentre déjà à Paris. This is your principal clause, and this is your subordinate clause where we have used the verb form in subjunctive. All right. I'm sorry that she is already going back to Paris. Wishes. So here I have used vouloir verb, means to want. We can use souhaiter verb also, to wish. If I want to say I want, I will use, then you use vouloir verb. If you want to say wish, I wish, then use souhaiter er group. Well, so if you want to say I wish, then use souhaiter verb. I will write it for you. That is regular er group. Souhaiter, to wish. Don't pronounce it souhaiter. Okay. So je souhaite, je veux, I want, I wish, je souhaite que elle rentre à Paris immédiatement. I wish that she goes immediately to Paris. I want that she goes back immediately to Paris. Fear. J'ai peur. This is avoir expression. I am afraid qu'elle rentre à Paris sans moi. I am afraid that she may return without me. She may go back to Paris without me. So, all these expressions you are going to use subjunctive in your subordinate clause. After ka, when your subordinate clause comes, then you change your verb into subjunctive form. Alright? Souhaiter, to wish. Well friends, if you want to say I wish, use souhaiter verb. Je souhaite qu'elle rentre à Paris immédiatement. Je veux. If you want to say I want, then you can use vouloir verb. That is the regular verb. Je veux qu'elle rentre à Paris immédiatement. Alright. Then fear, avoir expression, avoir peur. So avoir is conjugated in je form. J'ai peur qu'elle rentre à Paris sans moi. I am afraid that she may return to Paris without me. Alright? Well, note, if the principal clause expresses fear, always use ne before the subjunctive clause. The verb pouvoir in all the subjunctive tenses is used when we mean can or could. If we mean may or might, the verb pouvoir is not used in subjunctive. This is very important. I think I had mentioned it in earlier when I started, but again I am alerting you people. This is the important point which you should keep it in mind when you are doing subjunctive mode. Okay? Well friends, so these are the important factors which you should know. Subjunctive या subjunctive is used in subordinate clause. Third point, very important, subjunctive is used after the impersonal verbs. Impersonal verbs which are conjugated with il only. Il faut que, il est temps que, il est nécessaire que, il va mieux que, il convient que, il est souhaitable que, il est possible que, c'est dommage que, il semble que. Il faut que, it is necessary, you have learned already. Il est temps que, it is time that. Il est nécessaire que, yes, nécessaire also il faut, or il est nécessaire almost same meaning. So you can just use this as well. So you can use il faut que or il est nécessaire que as well. Same meaning. It is necessary that. It is necessary that. Il va mieux. Valoir verb. It's not vouloir. It is valoir. It would be better. You will say it is better that. Il convient que. It is convenient that. Il est souhaitable que. It is you can say souhaiter verb. Just now I explained you means to wish to. It is you can say wish that. Il est possible que. You have already learned this. Say domaj. Domaj means bad. It is very bad. You can say when you want to say it's very bad. Say domaj. It is sad that this happens. Ka. Of course, you will be using. Il semble que. It seems that. So all these impersonal verbs use subjunctive. Write it down and memorize it. Fourth point, subjunctive is also used after the verb expressions of thought, believe in the simple sentences if the doubt is expressed through interrogation or negation only. Then we use na also, which I had mentioned you earlier. Example, Ponce. Pensez-vous qu'elle soit heureuse après son mariage? Penser here group regular verb. This is your pensée. So pensez-vous, question, interrogation, as I told you. Pensez-vous qu'elle soit heureuse après son mariage? Do you think she is happy after marriage? There is a doubt, isn't it? So usually doubt we use with a little, it is a expression means where you have this way or that way possibility. She may be happy, she may not be happy. So we use in any kind of doubt, negation या interrogation में we can use in interrogation or negation the subjunctive form. Je ne crois pas, here it is negation. Je ne crois pas qu'elle soit partie. I don't think that she has left or she is leaving. I don't think. So either interrogation or negation when there is a doubt. Croix means believe. So I don't believe means doubt. Okay. So je doute qu'elle soit partie. You can say it that way also, but usually if any word we are saying where disbelief hai, doubt, there is disbelief or doubt, then we use interrogation or negation, we use subjunctive. Alright. So please write it down. This is very important point for the subjunctive. Subjunctive is also used if the subordinate clause, the relative pronoun has an adjective in the superlative degree. An adjective in the superlative degree. You must have learned adjectives in 3 degrees. That is, one is like you say good, better, best. Okay. So same way the comparative degree and superlative degree. So superlative degree, if the relative pronoun has an adjective in superlative, then also we use subjunctive. Example, le plus, le moins, le premier, le dernier, le seul. Le plus, le moins, le premier, le dernier, le seul. All these are superlative adjectives. And definite pronoun, या तो indefinite pronoun हो, either it is indefinite pronoun or adjective or article or a negative expression. So this fifth has many things to memorize. If a relative pronoun has an adjective in the superlative degree, these are the degrees which I have told you. Yeah, an indefinite pronoun, adjective, article or negative expressions. Then also we use subjunctive mode. Okay. Well friends, here are some things which you are supposed to memorize. Alright. So please note them down in your notebook and memorize them, because it is very important to know when we should use subjunctive or when we should use indicative or the imperative. So all the modes, especially indicative and subjunctive, ka is used in both of them, but then you should know in which cases we are going to use subjunctive. Alright. So 6th point, subjunctive is also used after the following conjunction denoting some conjunctions. The time conjunction, avant ka, before that, jusqu'à ce ka, till that, en attendant ka, while waiting that. Purpose, afin ka, pour ka, the crainte ka, de pour ka, the par ka, the manière ka, the façon ka, the sorte ka. Place na before subjunctive verb in these cases. Afin ka, so that, in that case, in order to, when you want to, in the manner of, the façon ka, the way of that, the sort ka, this kind of, you can say, when you say, then we use subjunctive. All right, so just note them down, and you know when these things come as purpose, my purpose is so that, in order to that, etc. when you say, so we use subjunctive. Condition या condition, का in case, का in case that, kas का to the reason of that, suppose ka supposing that, पूर्व क्या provided that, मोआ का at least, का in any case where you, when you say all these things, when you put the conditions, then also we use subjunctive. Okay? Note, place n before subjunctive verb. In these cases, place n before subjunctive verb. All right. So just note it down, remember them, try to make sentences with all these. And when you are reading is very good to learn any language. So if you read your text, whichever book you have prescribed, read them and observe how they are being used. You will be able to make sentences on your own once you learn all this and you remember the rule how to make verb in subjunctive mode. All right? Concession, bien ka, quoi ka, malgré ka, soit ka verb. So, bien ka, however, when you say, or despite of that, however, it be it so, when you want to say all these concession, the phrases, expressions which shows the concession. Then also we use negation, no ka, sa ka, no ka, not that, without that. So, we use subjunctive. In fact, when we use, there is always possibility, necessity, some kind, all those expressions what I have told you, somewhere they fit into these, all of these things. So if you remember that is the case, kindly use subjunctive. Okay? Well, friends, as I told you that in most of the time we use subjunctive in present tense, but still I thought that I must tell you the passé du subjunctive, perfect subjunctive. So how we make it, just like you make in indicative, but here the verb will be conjugated in subjunctive form. Auxiliary verb avoir, être, plus past participle of the verb. Okay? You are certainly happy that he has arrived. Vous êtes certainement heureux qu'il soit arrivé. That in passé. Subjunctive past. Qu'il soit arrivé. That he should have arrived. I am glad that he has succeeded. Je suis content qu'il ait réussi. So this is subordinate clause. You must faites attention. Qu'il soit arrivé, qu'il ait réussi. Vous avez appris once you give attention to this or observe it. Okay, so être, avoir and past participle of the given verb. Soit arrivé, réussi. All right. Well, I have done some exercises in English, I have told you, and then some sentences, though I had wanted you to do yourself, but it may be the first time it is not so easy. What I have done is given a sentence in English and I have just translated it for you in subjunctive form. If you want the exercises about subjunctive, kindly mention it in comment box and I will send you a PDF of subjunctive exercises. Alright, but here just I am going to read it, note it down. I am sorry that you want to come. Je regrette कि वो न भूलिए पा वनीर. That you don't want. Sorry, this is a mistake. I must correct it. Well, the English one was I had to write. I'm sorry that you don't want to come. Jo regret कि वो न भूलिए पा. This is your subordinate. भूलिए is your as imperfect tense. Okay, is in your subjunctive form. जो regret का वो न भूलिए पा वनीर. Judut ki ill sash. I know that he knows it. Sash, sehwar verb in subjunctive form. Okay. Judut. I told you all the expressions: necessity, possibility, doubts, regrets, wishes, and fear. Okay. So all these expressions you should remember, and you should make the sentence in subjunctive. Okay. Judut kill sash. I doubt that he knows it. He wonders that we are here. Means he wasn't believing it. He was doubtful. Again, doubt is there. Okay, that we will be there. So the sentences, it is actually sometimes it is a personal view. I may think it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. But not necessarily what I think is certain or right or with surety. Okay, so I express something, my doubts, my fears, my wishes. I say it is necessary. But it's not necessary that it's going to happen or it is going to be liked by or approved by everyone. So this is the case what I want you to understand when you make the subjunctive. Alright? Well, friends, some more sentences for you. The fourth one, we wish them to leave. Nu suetum kil parth. We wish that they leave. Maybe they are not going to leave. Maybe others do not want it. So there is always possibility of this way or that way. They want us to go out. Now they want us to go out. Maybe we don't want to go out. Maybe others do not want us to go out. So there is again some possibility, some kind of doubt also. So expressions in the beginning what I told you, keep it in mind. They want us to go out. Alright. I fear that he said too much. Jaipur, the verb to fear, Jaipur, to fear or afraid, both meaning same. Kilne throw thee, that he said too much, we fear. So as we told before, subjunctive verb, we must in fear or doubt, so we must place na before that. Okay. So Lafa, the end. Here I end this episode of subjunctive. Let me know how you like it, and if you want anything else, if you want some more exercises on this, kindly write it down in comment box and I will send you a PDF. It is free, okay? So don't worry about that. Well, friends, here I end this episode on subjunctive. If you want to have more exercises, kindly write it down in my comment box. I will send you a PDF on that, and definitely I will, if you have any confusion on any of the exercise, you can always write it down in my comment box and I will give you the right answer for that. So till I come with new topic, new subject for you. Bye bye. Au revoir. A bientôt.